Nancy Burt-Preece here. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Here's my email, my website, which is my online store. If you don't have a demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. You can go on there. If you order more than 150, you get to be the host and get some host benefits. If you order less, please use my August host code. My Facebook business page. I am fortunate enough to go to Las Vegas for Stampin' Up! Backstage. I'm going to be leaving in a week or so. So join my Facebook business page because I will be posting pictures and maybe short videos of the fun that we have in Las Vegas. YouTube. I am trying to build my YouTube channel. So please share my videos. Watch to the end because YouTube does look for that. Please comment, like, and share with all your stamping friends. So I hope you are having a great day, and I'm going to show you a fun technique we're going to learn. It is called the floating frames, and we're actually going to make 2 cards basically at the same time, stamping once and doing it twice. So I've seen tons of people. This was popular a couple years ago, and I didn't do it then, and I'm excited that I'm doing it now. So I'm excited to share with you how to create these cards. You notice I use go-to greetings for that, and for the rest of it, I am using the online exclusive Irresistible Blooms and Irresistible Dies. So those are fun. I have this new embossed brick 3D embossing folder, which I just love. You notice I kept the insides relatively simple. So let's show you how to make these cards. So the first thing we're going to do is I have a 3 3/4 by white piece. It's basic white. And I already pre-stamped and die cut some images because I really wanted to show you how to do the technique. I know you can do the stamping on your own. And what colors am I using today? Sometimes I pick a color family and I just have fun. Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist, Melon Mambo, and Flirty Flamingo. So those are the stamp colors I'm using. So the first thing you do is you lay your pieces, and I'm going to try to lay them differently this time. I say that and it might end up the same. I'm laying them, I am not adhering them down. So I'm just kind of, no, I'm doing the same thing I did last time. I wonder if I try, I don't know, put these like this. How's that? I'm trying it different. I'm not adhering yet. Things can go artfully off the page, not a problem. And I drop it on the floor. I love these. These are just a really fun flower. Oh, let's go. And you can put it on top of each other if you choose. I'm just going to try doing different things. Now, one thing I'm going to do in a minute is I realize I have some extra left on one of the edges. And because we really want the edges, oops, let me show you the real card, to have something around them, I'm going to kind of look at this again. Oh, I have another one of these. That's why I don't have enough on there. Okay, let me move this one over. And the people, some people are coming to a workshop I'm going to be doing on Saturday. And I love that the people that are coming are just creative. And you do your own thing, you have fun, you try things different ways. They can go off the edge, not a problem, because I will be, we will be cutting that. I'm trying to debate if I want that leaf there or not. Maybe I'll go here, put a leaf like here, and then maybe another one here. And maybe I'm moving that over. Do you like, I don't know what there is no wrong or right. You can just keep moving. Now that means that the middle section, when I cut it out, will probably have a lot of leaves in it. So I may change the order of one of these flowers, thinking that that middle section is what's going to get cut out. So I want to have enough on the edges and in the middle to make it kind of interesting. All right, I'm going to say that's going to be good. Is it perfect? Probably not, but it's going to be good. Now, you're going to use press and seal. I tried cling and seal, and it did not work. So just a little bit. And I'll give you a hint. You start putting this down, and things will lift up. So when you put it down, and just push it down. Don't even look at it. Once you got to that point, that's where things are. Basically, what happens is everything stops and it adheres to the cling wrap and it holds it in place. So now, this is the hardest part, I think. It's trying to cut this even. You don't have to worry about the cling wrap, really. If you get a little bit of that on the edge or whatever, that's okay. Trying to make sure you can still see it and I can still cut it. I just have to make sure that the stamped images are in line with the cardstock. I don't know who came up with this. I thought it was quite clever, frankly. Keep pushing that press and seal down because you want those to be adhered. Okay. Adhere that, adhere that. This is, like I say, for me, this is the hardest part. Trying to get this organized is like, okay, I can do it. All right, there. If the press and seal isn't perfect, that doesn't make a difference. Now, the next thing you're going to do is I'm using a deckled rectangle, and I am going to run it through my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, which is off camera, and I am going to just quickly run that through. I like those deckled rectangles. I just think they're really neat. And it cuts it all out. And I'm just going to set that to the side, set my deckled rectangle to the side. And now what I'm going to do is very, 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 very carefully, that's why you don't mind having a little extra around here, is take the white off the back. Very carefully. If you come to one of my workshops, you're going to get 3 pieces of this. This you get to take home and do something with, which is super fun. Then what I'm going to do is bring out a ton, and I mean a ton, of dimensionals. I buy dimensionals like almost every time I order because I use them so often. I love dimensionals, and I think they add so much. And see, it's okay if things are underneath each other. It totally doesn't make a difference as long as you have oodles of dimensionals. So I'm starting with the big size first because the big size will hold a lot of it. And then I'll come back in with the minis and finish. And I keep some of these because you can use those around an edge of something. And I'll come back in with the minis. Okay, I think I've got all of those now. I'm going to come back in with some minis. And like here, I could use 1, Definitely there. Oops. Here. Probably put a mini there. Maybe a mini there. You want to make sure you got it pretty adhered. Now, is there a great way to take this off? I was trying to use my take your pick tool, but I just basically found that it was just as easy to rip them off with my fingers. So that's a personal preference. You notice I have one hand where I started, because after a while you forget which ones you took off. Maybe you don't do that, but I surely do. So I am going through, picking off all the dimensionals. Where are the strangest places you found dimensional papers? I find them all over my house. Even my grandkids now find them sometimes. It's like, okay. Yep. I know I started there, so I can move my finger now that I know where I've pretty much, this is, like I say, this is the most time-consuming part. Stamping and punching them out, you know, with cutting them out with dies, that's not too bad. It's really the dimensionals that takes time. But it's a wow factor. So everything that's worth doing is worth taking the wow factor. The cool thing about this is you're really making 2 cards at the same time. I love that. Anytime I can do something tricky and get 2 cards out of it, that's a super good day. Okay, I think I've got them all. Now I'm going to come back. You have 2 options. You can try to flip that over, or you can try to put it on your white 3 3/4 by 5. I pre-stamped that dot image, and I use Lemon Lime Twist. I just wanted to give a little background to that. So I'm going to try it this way. I'm not saying that is the best way to do it, but we're going to try. And I'm going to put it down. Okay. So now I have this all on here. Here is the next important step. And the first time I did it, I ripped off the cling wrap and ripped off a ton of my ink. That was totally silly. So I am very, 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 very slowly taking the Glad wrap off. Very tiny. It's this, you know, like I say, this beginning stuff. Don't rush taking the Glad wrap off. Take it very slow, one little piece at a time. Like I said, it's a fussy technique. I'm having a technique class, so we do fussy stuff. We have fun. Now, if that happens, you can just come back in and put a teeny tiny titch. Actually, it might just go right back on. I'll show you a boo-boo in the original card so you can see how I fixed it. If for some reason you get some of the Glad wrap takes off a smidge of the ink, be very, 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 very careful. And voila, get the dimensionals out of there. And there it is. This is from the Nature's Prince. The saying is from Irresistible Blooms. And I cut that little thing to go in the middle. That little, it's just great for lots of sayings. I'm going to take Melon Mambo ink and a sponge dauber. Just go around, give it a little bit of an ink. And there you go. The next thing you'll do is pop it up. Oops, you can see, people are like, do you ever make mistakes? Yeah, I stamped on the wrong side. There's little ridges on this side. Like, oops. Well, I changed that one. Remember, no mistakes in Stampin' Up, only opportunities. And then I'm going to put this in the middle. I'll show you the finished card because I don't need to finish that part on camera, but isn't that cool? It gives you that really neat rectangle, and every time you do it, it's going to look a little different. So I don't know which one you like. Well, let me put it on a card base. And I'm going to have a whole bunch of gems out so people can doodly-dad their thing up as much as they want. Did you notice I did a little boo-boo there? So I just took a little ink and put it on there. And then I put a gem on it. If you're not sure, put a gem on it, right? So I don't know which edge I like better. I think they're both neat. So that's the first part of the card. The first card, I should say. The second card, I will, if you come to my class, I have that embossed. And we're going to do a similar thing, except we are going to take a piece of Granny Apple Green, which is 2 1/8 by 3 3/4. I had to look that. And that it's the wrong size. Good thing I checked that out before I went to my class. I am quickly going to cut the right size, which is what? 3 3/4 is correct. Oh, it's got to be 2 3/8. See? That's a boo-boo. 2 3/8. Okay. All right. So here's the 2 3/8. Same thing I'm going to do. I'm going to peel off the white. Very gently. And you can save that for something else. And I'm going to do the old dimensional trick again. Basically what it does is the press and seal holds it in place so that you can add your dimensionals to it and get it to look like it's popped up. And so it's a fun technique. I wouldn't use it all the time, but it is a super fun. And I've seen people do it with butterfly, all sorts of different things. And this is a technique where you really need both sizes of the dimensionals. You need the minis and you need the bigger ones because you really want to make sure that what you have on there is going to stick when you pull that press and seal off. So don't be, don't think you don't need to use all of them. Yeah, you do. You need to use a lot of them and make it stick. Okay. So now, same thing, coming around. I'm going to start on my left-hand corner. That's one of the hardest things, is to remember where you started taking off the dimensional papers. And the press and seal is a little sticky, so it will stick to your hands. It'll stick to all sorts of stuff, really. I'm assuming when I have my class, we'll have dimensional papers everywhere. Once again, if you're a person that really likes to take them off with a take your pick tool or something, feel free. Now, here's an example. This is a teeny tiny one, and I don't have a dimensional on it. Now, what I'm going to do, and I'll have these out so in case people have that, is I'm going to cut a little bit of an end and just cut a teeny tiny bit so that I can still put a dimensional on it, but it's not going to show. That's my verve and taupe anyway. And it'll still hold it. There we go. So I will have them, I always have people, I'm sure you do too when you go to classes, bring scissors, bring any tools you like to use. Everybody has their own kind of adhesive they like. This one, it doesn't make a difference so much what kind of adhesive you like. You can use either one. Anything will work. Let's see. Oops, see, I'm forgetting what I took off, and I always do that. I get talking and I just totally forget. Couple more. I just want to show you the effect because you can do it on plain white, but you can also do it on a color. Getting dimensionals all over. Okay, once again, I'm going to make sure this is covering everything. And actually on this one, I'm going to do it the opposite because last time I got it a little crooked. So I'm going to put it down because it's a smaller piece to hold. It's not perfect, but it's much better. Okay, so now the next step is gently, gently, gently peel that press and seal up. You notice how slow I'm going? I'm telling you, the first time I ripped it up, not a good idea. Now, if that little one is going to bother you and not sit down, you can always take it off because nobody's really going to know. So if anything I can caution you is to take the press and seal off super duper ooper slow. All right, isn't that fun? So you get 2 cards, ignore my mess of stuff here. You get 2 cards with this technique. So if you come to my class this week, we are going to do this technique and it'd be helpful if I had it this way, make these 2 cards. Very fun. It's called the floating frame technique. Hope you enjoyed.